Welcome everyone to the Circle of Debate podcast and Championship on the Line podcast, MMA episode number 6. That's right, episode number 6, ladies and gentlemen. This is the host and the moderator, the devious one, Ivan C. Well, hold on, let me correct myself. The Tapology, the reigning, defending, undisputed Tapology world champion. That's the devious one, Ivan C. Alongside with my brother from another mother, he is the one and only, the director, 3.1, Chris.
Ooh, with the camera.
With the camera. And of course, my other brothers, my other familia, my other brothers from another mother, the Modest of Pain. The Modest of Pain. That's right, we have Richard, the Modest Pain brother, and former Tapology world champ, Alex.
Soon to be two-time.
Never, no. Look at my title right here. See, there we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited for this week's episode, man. I'm super stoked. You know, I watched today the whole UFC in bed today. I got me pumped up. Like, oh my God, this fight coming up Saturday, which we'll be discussing, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go ahead and go through the UFC 261, USMAN versus Masvidal, coming up this Saturday, and we cannot wait. And this card is stacked. But before we get to that, we have Alex who wants to go ahead and digress of what happened this past weekend. So go ahead and let the viewers.
I guess it's fair. Let's just get it out of the way. Let's move the trash into the streets so we can make way for the big load.
Go for it, Alex. The floor is yours.
So fortunately there was a boxing.
Is it Logic? You have a Logic? Is that Logic's mugshot on your shirt?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what's up.
See, someone noticed. See?
Oh yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
I like Logic's funny.
But I just want to talk about real quick what happened. Ben Askren versus Jake Paul. So, as embarrassed, we did purchase that event. We did.
I purchased it. Wasted my $45.
So, as a boxing fan, as a person that's been watching my whole life, I've been watching boxing. This was probably the worst. It is the worst boxing event ever.
And it wasn't officially an event because there were pro fights. These weren't exhibitions. These counted, right?
I mean, there were pro fights, but no. Well, they were. Yeah, all sanctioned were professional fights. But let's be honest, a lot of these guys were not professionals. A lot of these guys were just internet guys, and the only real professional fight was like the co-main event, and those were two legitimate professionals, world-class ranked. But the first fight was between two guys that me and Rich didn't even know who they were. One was a DJ, and then one was like a TikToker. So it's just, at this point, what Triller's trying to do is Triller's trying to sell basically, a freak show fights pretty much. We saw what they're doing with, Evander Holyfield's coming back, and, he's fighting Kevin McBride. If people don't know who Kevin McBride is, he's the one that pretty much retired Mike Tyson years ago, which both of those guys should not be fighting. And then but the card itself was okay. You had the first fight, like I said, Joe Fournier versus I don't even know the other guy's name. That was okay fight. I mean, it was pretty bad. Obviously, you've seen two guys that don't know how to fight. Ends in a knockout, and then we have to wait literally for an hour for another fight to happen because they're putting on music performances, and it's like. It just doesn't. I know what they're trying to do, like a big party and everything, but it's just not. It doesn't mix well, Especially, I mean,
there's a crowd there, so it's not like you're performing for anybody, really.
I mean,
the performances mostly were lip singing too.
Yeah.
Oh, big time.
Oh yeah,
it was terrible.
And you're spending all that money on entertainment. You could spend that money on fighters and get legitimate professional fighters instead of getting Bieber and these other acts and Ice Cube and all that. So that happens. We have to wait, and then there's a slap match.
And Ric Flair was there.
Flair is. Oh my gosh!
He's hosting
you
it.
have a legend in there officiating a slap match, which is stupid. It's horrible. It's ridiculous. It's just dumb. And the whole time, Ric Flair is like just standing there, and you could tell he doesn't want to be there. He's just, he probably got a good paycheck, and he's just there, and it's so cringe because he's walking, he's doing his thing, and then it's just really bad. And then Frank Mir is fighting. Was fighting Steve Cunningham, which obviously Cunningham. We all knew Cunningham was going to win the fight. Which wasn't a bad fight. I mean, Frank Mir lasted 6 rounds. That's a win itself.
Frank Mir not getting knocked out early
that's a win.
Is a win. No offense. I mean, obviously Frank Mir can destroy all of us at the same time, but that he's a glass cannon. Like, he hits hard, he plays hard, but he does not take a shot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, 6 rounds against a tough guy, former cruiserweight world champion. Like I said, win itself. Obviously, the entertainment was De La Hoya doing commentary.
I heard a little bit. He'd been sipping down the Tito's a little bit. Maybe.
Oh my god! That was like the most entertaining thing throughout the whole event. That was like the only thing that was exciting. It was really bad. It was sad to see. Funny, but also a little bit sad to see. Then the next fight as the main event. First off, let me mention the commentary real quick. You got Snoop Dogg, who doesn't know shit about fighting, doesn't know anything about boxing. Then you have Pete Davidson from SNL, doesn't know anything about fighting. And then you have some, who else? There was another rapper, again, doesn't know anything about fighting. Then you have Al Bernstein, who's a Hall of Famer, who commentates for all these big, for Showtime, who's seen all the Mayweather fights, commenting for those, Hearns, Hagler, all the big fights he's been. Now he's doing Jake Paul versus Ben Askren, which is pretty much a joke. Then he's there and they're commentating, and it's just so unprofessional. You have Snoop Dogg pretty much saying, the F word, cursing pretty much the whole event. Everyone else too. It's just not professional. It was, a shit show, to be honest. It's just really bad, especially like the whole time, like Snoop Dogg is like pretty much wants Ben to lose, because he bet like $1 million like with Dana White. It was just I don't know. This itself was pretty bad to see. I mean, you see Pete Davidson blowing smoke to Al Bernstein, and it's like you could tell Bernstein doesn't want to be there. He's just smiling, just like wants to get the hell out of there. At that, I was kind of pissed off seeing that. And then the main event itself, you have Jake Paul, Ben Askren. Ben disappointed me. I think it disappointed on everyone. He just didn't want to fight. The way he prepared for it, I know it's about money.
Oh yeah, he walked out backstage smiling, bro. Like,
I know.
Got my big paycheck. I
got my $500,000.
I put my ego on the line. I put pretty much my career, my MMA career, on the line just to get a big fat paycheck.
But the fact that he's saying that, like, oh, I don't care, that's fucking bullshit. Like, you're gonna think about it like, fuck, I just got knocked out by a YouTuber.
Yeah, he got paid.
Yeah.
Dana White gonna pay his ass. He caught up for a reason.
No, that's true.
So what other way to get money?
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but he's not well known. I hate to say that.
That's for sure.
He's more
well known off of his
You have to
losses.
be a real MMA fan to know who he is.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but he's not very well known, like a high top name. That's I mean, no disrespect to him, but it's the damn truth. It's just money. It was all money. It was a money show, and I'm hoping that Triller does not fuck up Fight TV now that they purchased it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a major key factor of what we're going to see. Because remind you that Fight TV hosts a lot of, like, especially with pro wrestling, not only just boxing.
Oh yeah.
So that's something is going to be very scary to see. But let's hope for the best, and let's say hopefully they do better as what originally with Fight TV have done.
I mean, it's kind of okay.
I don't mean to interrupt, but the thing is, it's an attraction. It's a freak show. Everyone wants to see it.
Exactly.
The reason why I paid $45 is because maybe Ben Askren could knock him out. That's what we wanted to see. I paid pretty much to see Paul get knocked out. That's what I paid for.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get that. And now looking back, I'm like, no shit, he probably was going to lose. I mean, he didn't look, how do I say it? He never looks ready for the fight. I mean, he's always had that dad bod, even when his collegiate days. I mean, the guy on his own was a badass. He's a 2-time national champion. He represented USA in the Olympics. He defeated the best in Bellator at the time. The man defeated Korshkov. He defeated Lima. I mean, he had a great career before he went to UFC, and now he's, pretty much selling his pride to get some bucks. And I mean, I don't blame him because he never got, a good payday in the UFC. He said this was his highest paying gig ever, and this man's been doing combat sports pretty much his whole life. So I don't blame him from that. I'm happy to see him get the payday. But other than that, this show was a joke. I mean, in my opinion, how many times can you repeat this? I mean, I could go to wrestling. ECW was great. It was something different. It was something crazy, something wild, but it could never be duplicated. The WWE tried to resurrect that, and it was a shit show. Then you have XPW that went nowhere. Then you have CZW that.
Careful now. Careful.
I like CZW.
Yeah, no. XPW.
XPW.
Careful now.
I worked for XPW, and I'm going to say one thing. You are fucking right. That is the craziest. The craziest. I don't know if I've told. I was working for XPW when I was 16 years old. That is not a good sentence. That is not a good sentence.
No, that's so crazy. Because Alex and I have a friend too that worked for them back in the day.
I know them. Who are they? Who is it?
His name was Jeremy.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
Jeremy who? Like, what was he, a character or what was he?
He wrestled like 2 dark matches. He's I think his indie name was J-Bomb.
I didn't wrestle him, but I probably know him because I ran a little bit with the Sweep It Up Lanny. What was the guy's name? He was a custodian that became a jobber. Yeah. Anyways, continue.
He was there with the New Jack and Vic Grimes thing.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I was there for that. I was backstage next to the ambulance. Oh my God! What a small world. Yeah, the Grand Olympic Auditorium in like 2002. Man, that shit was nuts.
Exactly.
I was there for that.
It was awesome.
Well, yeah.
But anyways, what I was saying, XPW was cool, different, but it was not going to be ECW.
Yeah, it was.
That's my point.
Not.
The same thing with CZW. A lot of wrestlers that started CZW like, we thought this was going to be the next CCW. It was going to be big, and it's still going, but it's never going to reach a height where ECW was. It can't be duplicated. It can get close to it, but it's not going. Unless you're a hardcore fan, you want to watch that. The same thing. How many times could you do these freak show fights? Now we have De La Hoya. Now we have Anderson Silva fighting.
Forever.
They're going to go on forever, but
I think they're going to pick up even more because of the way. Pardon me, I'm sneeze. Because of these social media apps that are picking up steam, freak show fights have been around long before the internet. So now that we have the internet, we just have more content.
But don't you think at a point is this gonna like fans are gonna say, F it, I don't want to see this anymore?
Nope, definitely not.
I mean, I was more entertained with the Scott Ferozzo versus Tank Abbott barbecue match years ago than this.
Chris was like,
I know Chris knows that. I mean, but I mean, it was. I mean, there's nothing much to say. You pay pretty much for a concert. Half of the artists lip sync. The most, some of them did it, and
I kind of hate the fact that like people are saying like, oh, Jake Paul's the real deal, and like he's a legit fighter. Man, I could fucking knock him out. I mean, it's just,
he's a big kid that has discipline. He definitely has an athletic background. He was
he's an athletic kid.
High school wrestling background, knows the discipline to learn something. He's big. He's big and wide. Yeah. He's way. I mean, this was not a fight that cared about weight class at all.
No.
So I think,
of course not. You have Frank Mir weighing like 300 pounds at one point.
Yeah, right. So I mean, if this is something that Jake Paul wants to take seriously, he will have to shed that douche boy, frat image. Mm-hmm. But I think the talent and hard work are there. Mm. He just has to shed that thing that we all know is that he's a Paul brother. And I don't mean to disrespect like the family name per se, but I'm saying like he has to shed that social media aura of him before he's taken seriously and then be given some serious opponents.
Yeah, he's going to have to fight someone with a boxing background.
Oh, definitely. That's a must. So we could test him on that.
What I was hurt where I saw pretty much guys end their career trying to get a good payday, and you can tell they just don't want to be there. Frank Mir, like he was trying to get a good payday, and pretty much this is end of his career. Same thing to Askren. I don't see Askren fighting again. And if he does, he's trying to get him. That's it. So he got his $500,000 or his $1 million. The same thing with Ric Flair. I mean, at this point, Ric Flair will do any commercial at this point. You see him in auto commercial. I've seen him already in 2 commercials recently.
Well, so that guy one of David Marquez produced a car show.
That was cool.
Yeah.
And he did another one too.
Yeah.
So at this point, you could hire him for anything, and he'll, do it for the money.
Of course.
And the same thing with Bernstein, with boxing. And I love HBO boxing, and HBO boxing is dead. Now we go to Showtime. And how many shows does Showtime boxing really do at this point? Not that many. So you have a legendary, commentator who's a Hall of Famer. And yeah, I disagree some of his points, but he's a legend in the sport. And Alan Bernstein now is commenting this bullshit.
Yeah.
Which hurts. It's pretty much, and that's what hurts. These guys are trying to get a payday, and my hat's off to them. They deserve it, but they shouldn't, be around a joke of a card.
Who would fight Jake Paul for $500 right now? Just like tonight, like get in the car right now, drive down.
I'll fucking do it. I don't give a shit. Yeah, that's $500K for me, bro. Like hell yeah.
I'll take that overhand right for a couple.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take. But that's at the end of the day, they're the ones who wants to tarnish their careers that way. Well, they were known before as badasses. That's them. That's how you can tell that they're not about their careers. They're about the money. But it's understanding.
And one thing before we go to real fighting, that you have this company, right? You're trying to pitch this to millions in the world across the country, and then you're trying to pitch it to the world pretty much, and you're competing versus platforms like ESPN Plus, and you're trying to compete versus DAZN, Showtime, Fox Sports, and this is and you're trying to, this is competition, and you throw this out there. And as a fight fan, I didn't like seeing this, and especially if you have a barbecue and you want your family to see this. Like, I'm going to put my kids in another room, even if I have teenagers. I don't want them watching this shit. You know what I mean? We're trying to put that martial arts is for everyone, any kind of age. That's what we're trying to do. Either boxing or any kind of fighting style. It's for 5-year-olds that want to learn. You want to learn self-defense. It's for moms that are in their 60s trying to get a good workout. It's for everyone. So if you want to learn, how to fight, it's for everyone. That's what I love about that sport, because I wasn't the biggest guy, and I wasn't the fastest guy, but shit, I could go and try to wrestle for 20 minutes, or Alex could go and box, and that's what we attracted, because I couldn't play football or basketball, shit, but I could wrestle for a good moment. So that's why I love the sport. It's for everyone. So that's what I mean when it's for everyone. Of course, I could bring in some 10 or 12-year-olds watch UFC and they could appreciate it, and they'll go crazy. I'm like, it's not gonna go over the top compared to this crap with Snoop Dogg constantly smoking and blowing smoke, up Al Bernstein's ass constantly, and then you see, the F word was, I don't know, said like 100 times in the last 2 minutes of the fight with Snoop Dogg speaking over commentary. There was pretty much no commentary at all. It was just them just jaw-jacking, talking shit half the time, because there wasn't no commentary at all. And then I saw 2 other guys trying too hard to try to be cool with Snoop Dogg, just talking crap. Because you did have Al Bernstein, and there was another guy that was a legitimate analyst. Ray Flores, who's a good commentator, but jumped in the bandwagon and was talking like Snoop Dogg. What do you think about this shit? Oh, he looks fat. Like, really? That's where we're going at this point?
Right. Yeah.
It kills the sport. I mean, it kills the sport, especially a sport that I love very much. It's killing the sport. And it makes me sad.
It is sad.
The only reason why I started this podcast is to get enough attention so I can fight one of those guys.
I love that.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm
about to say. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on with some real fighting now. Let's talk about now with UFC 261. Before we even touch the card, I just want to get everybody's thoughts. Let's go and touch with the prelim cards. Let's see who's going to be fighting there. So, we got the early prelims. We got Dana Badguero, Kevin Natividad, Kazula Vargas versus Rongzu. This guy, I don't know who the heck this guy is. Arquilin, I don't know. Jeffrey Molina's fighting. Arian Canonasi fighting Na Liang. And then you also have, that's the early ones. And then you have Alex Oliveira, who's fighting Randy Brown. That's going to be a good one. Dwight Grant versus Stevan Sekulik. Carl Robinson versus Brendan Allen. Patrick Sabatini versus Tristan Conley. So so I'm going to go with you, director. Which one are you looking forward to see on those preliminary fights coming up?
Everybody's answer needs to be Cowboy versus Randy Brown.
Yeah.
Alex Oliveira has been around for a while, and he's never out of a fight. It takes a lot to put him away, and he is as dangerous on the feet as he is on the ground. Don't let his 22-9 record fool you. He is he's a dream killer for sure. They kind of use him as a gatekeeper sometimes in that, prelim area. I don't think he's ever main evented. Sorry if I'm wrong, but I think I'm pretty accurate on that. And then Randy Brown is just like an up and comer.
Yeah.
first guy to beat Mickey Gall, but then he loses to Nico Price for those hammer fists.
Yeah.
The dude has a lot to prove, but he is young, and is definitely on his way, at least up the popularity rankings, if not the actual rankings.
Definitely. Richard, which are you looking forward to?
I'm going with Robertson. The Robertson fight, you know, his back against the wall. I believe he lost. I'm looking at, he lost to Marv Vittori, who now is pretty much close, you know, next in line for a shot. I mean, he has a lot to prove. I mean, he lost pretty much to the biggest names in his career. He lost to Vittori, lost to Glover Teixeira. Yeah, that fight I like to see. I like to see when guys are back against the wall and see what they can do. Especially, who's he fighting again? Allen?
Yeah, Brandon Allen.
Yeah, fighting Brandon Allen, who just came off a loss as well. So I like those fights when both guys are coming off losses. So you know it's going to be entertaining.
All right, Alex.
I'll probably agree with Chris. I'll go with Oliveira and Brown, especially Brown coming from, I think he was from the Dana White's looking for a fight. They signed him there when he did Ring of Combat when he won the title. So been following. He's been in the UFC since I want to see 2015, 2016. So he's been there for a while. He's been fighting some tough guys. Has his ups and downs. So basically, it's a good fight for him. Oliveira is a veteran. He's fought some tough guys. So it's gonna be a really good fight. It's, ranking wise, are pretty much even. Especially with the records too. So it's gonna be exciting. I look forward to that one.
I agree. I'm with you guys on that too. I'm looking forward to seeing Oliveira. He's not a sleeper, man. How Chris said, he put it on point. He is a dream fucking killer. And, I'm hoping to see him in the main event someday. Hopefully. Hopefully he does. He deserves it. Why not? I mean, look at his fight speaks for itself. So it's like there's nothing much to speak upon of. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. All right. So now let's move on to the main card now. Let's go to the main card. All right. First fight on the main card. I'm not sure you have your OSB.
Oh, yeah.
Ready.
I'm always ready, man.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. Anthony Smith, Jim Crute. Director, take it away. Floor is yours.
If this was before Anthony Smith's last fight, I would have said this was the contract killing fight because he was on a losing streak. That Devin Clark redemption and that triangle choke early in that first round definitely saved his job, which I'm cool with. I don't want someone to get fired, obviously. I want them to perform well at the same time. But Jimmy Crute is a stud. 25 years old, only one loss, was a quick knockout or anaconda choke, I think, to Misha Serkinov, which that is a hard move to get. Coming out of Australia, this dude is large and dangerous. If Smith were to lose this fight a fight ago, this would have been his walking papers fight. But losing to Crute is nothing to be ashamed. I mean, obviously you're ashamed when you lose, but it's not like you lost to some tin can out in the amateurs. I'm picking Crute on this. I think, man, I don't know. Smith has the experience, though. The guy's got like 60 fights under his record, and Crute's only got 13. So this is going to be a matter of like a young gun versus an experienced veteran, which is crazy because I know Smith is young also. Man. I could see Smith doing a TKO or a submission in the first, or Crute doing a TKO in the second, man. So if I'm about to put my pen to paper, I'm going to go with Crute TKO in the first.
Oh, all right. So you go with Crute in the first round. All right.
It's not what I want to do. It's just what I'm thinking is going to happen because he finishes a lot of people. His record is 5 knockouts, 4 submissions, 3 decisions. And most of those finishes came in the UFC, which means he really came into his own when he hit the big lights. So he doesn't have stage fright. So he performs much better in the UFC than he did down in Australia against lesser competition. And he's finishing UFC guys. That's wild. And I want to see it happen. I want to see Crute become a huge star.
Yeah, definitely. Alex.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect fight for Crute. I mean, he's much younger. He's quicker, faster, stronger. He's a fast.
How much younger is he? It's not by much.
Crute's 25.
25 to 32. Like, they're almost the same generation. Like, they're brothers. For, like you guys. So it's not like we're getting, like, Mickey Gall versus Randy Couture or something.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, but Smith has a lot of miles on him.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of wars. Yeah.
He is. I mean, they use their term journeyman as an insult, but I don't think so. This guy's just been around the block a couple dozen times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to. I mean, like I said, he's a fast starter. you know, and Smith is kind of a slow start. It takes probably a couple of rounds for him to kind of, you know, get into it. I feel like with Crew, I think I see him winning, probably knockout in the first round.
Ah, all right. KO first round. You writing that down, Chris? Make sure.
Are you writing that down?
I'm writing it down, bro. I'm writing it down.
You have to cheat to win, huh?
No, bro. I'm writing it down, making sure you don't change your picks, bro. I gotta make sure of that. Richard, talk to me, brother.
I'm pretty much agree with both of them. I mean, I think Crute will take it. You know, he's 12-1, 5 KOs, 4 submissions. I mean, he could do it all. He's another, you know, prodigy that came from the Dana White's Contender Series. And as soon as he, you know, has 1 loss, and that was in the UFC. So with 2 performance of the nights also on his belt. So this is a perfect fight for him, Smith. We know his journey, you know, going to John Jones. And then he could have pulled the easy way out, could have done a Sterling and walked away with the belt. But unless, you know, besides that, he took 2 points away from Jones. Either way, he lost. Then he beats Gustafsson. Then 2 devastating losses. One of them was Teixeira. At one point, my eyes were watering seeing that beating because Teixeira, I mean, did what he wanted to do. It was hard to watch. But, you know, bounce back, defeating Devin Clark. And he needs to win this fight. His back is against the wall. If he really wants to get that shot again, which I think he can, but he needs to beat Crute. But I see Crute winning by knockout, let's say in the 2nd round.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. I was going to say that too. Because I feel like the fact was with Smith, especially, like, he lasted 5 rounds with Glover, you know? So, you know, he got knocked out, but I got to give him more credits too. So, I mean, he lasted that long. I feel that I think Crute will probably just gel in, like, in the first, you know, the first round. Okay, let me feel this guy. What's he going to come up with next? And I think, because most of Crute's win is mostly first fucking round knockouts, the majority of them, you know? But I feel that I think Crute will probably knock him out in the 2nd round. I agree. I think I see that.
That's a smart bet right there. I'm just wild and hungry Crute coming out pretty.
If Crute loses, it's just learning experience, and if Smith loses, it's a big backward step for him.
Yeah.
So.
Most definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the other upcoming one we have, Uriah Hall, Chris Weidman. Ooh. This card is stacked, man. I'm so excited for this Saturday. Cannot wait. But this is a tough one, man. So I go back to you, director. I'm curious. What do you go on this one?
Oh, Jesus, man. Don't compare this to their first fight, which happened almost, I think, I'd love to guess, at least 10 years ago. Hall tooled him up into the 2nd
combat
round.
days.
Yeah. It was a very young Hall, very wrestling experienced Weidman. I would love to say that these are 2 very different fighters right now. If this fight was happening 5 years ago, I would have picked Weidman all day long. Uriah had some things he had to deal with mentally to put his killer instinct back into motion. I think he's getting there. He's finally at a new camp. We saw that in the Anderson Silva fight. He did not show respect. He showed that killer instinct that he needed to finish someone like Anderson.
Great fight, by the way. That was a great fight.
Even an older Anderson, who people always, you know, wrote off, but he was in that fight. He did not.
Only Dana White wasn't good enough.
Yeah. And then Weidman obviously went on like a 5-fight losing streak and only came back with a win against, I think, Gastelum, or no, there was a win he had against someone.
No, it was Amari Akhmedov.
Yeah. Like that's a hard dude to beat right there in itself.
Yeah.
So for me, the slate is a little wiped clean for Weidman. I'm glad he's back at middleweight. That's for sure.
I'm with you on that.
we will see what kind of Weidman shape is in, or what kind of shape Weidman is in. He's still my boy. So, this is a good test for both of them. I think this will put Hall up into the top of the division, and it will probably keep Weidman at the lower end. You know, the turntables have turned a little bit right now. So, I want to pick Hall by KO in the round 2. That would be awesome. But I think Weidman's smart enough to lay on that wrestling and grind out that decision. I think I'm going to go with Weidman by 5-round decision.
Wow. All right. Wow. Risky, you know, bold statement.
I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's that risky. Would be like Weidman by KO round 1. which would be amazing.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you in the decision part, but choosing Weidman that's the one thing that I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because their careers are completely.
It's a toss-up.
Yeah,
their careers are flip-flop. Like, at some point, Weidman was the king of the division, and Hall was almost about to quit fighting completely.
Yeah.
Now they're kind of meeting in this weird middle area. So we need to see right now who's actually on their way up, who's on their way down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a flip coin pretty much, and the coin toss pretty much on this one. Alex, talk to me, baby.
It's like I said, it's a toss-up. I mean, pretty much, we can see it going. Weidman probably just if Hall could defend the takedowns and keep it in the feet, I feel like Hall has a really good chance of winning.
The Francis School of Encounter Wrestling.
Yeah, and then I mean, but then again, if Weidman could just if he wrestles him, takes it to the ground, he could do that all day, 3 rounds. It would dominate him if he could do that. But it's crazy because even though Hall did beat Anderson Silva, it wasn't the best performance of Uriah Hall. I mean, we saw him very, very, very hesitant and he was very, very, very patiently, and he didn't engage like I want him to. I mean, obviously every fight is different. One fight he looks great, knocking guys out, especially like the Gegard Mousasi when he knocked him out the first time. We want to see that Uriah Hall throwing spinning back kicks, elbows, all that fun stuff. But then there's fights where it's like, oh man, he didn't do any of that. Especially when he fought Rafael Natal. Like, where was that? It just depends what kind of Hall we get. If Hall comes in there very confident and believes in his skill set, he could knock out Weidman. And it's not like Weidman has a really good chin because we've seen Weidman get KO'd.
Yeah.
2 times in a row too, viciously.
Yeah. So I mean, Hall could catch him for sure. Mm-hmm. But I do think that he was. I think in this fight, I think his takedown defense is going to work for him. He's going to keep it on the feet, and I see him knocking Weidman out second round.
Oh wow! Okay, Richard.
Let's see. Well, just based on statistics, Weidman, he's 2-5. I mean, he really needs to win this fight. If Hall could really, let his hands go and don't be too gun shy, I could see Hall winning by KO. I would say by the 2nd or 3rd round. That's my pick. I think Hall could get the knockout. If you look, he has 16 wins, 12 of those are by knockout. His record, his last 8 fights, are 4-4. I mean, he needs to win this fight to be a real contender. I'm not saying he's not, but it doesn't help when the boss is breathing down your neck and saying that you're a boring fighter. You haven't proven anything to him.
That's an unfortunate.
I mean, at one point he was Dana White's new shiny toy when he was an Ultimate Fighter, and you could be Dana White's toy for a few months, and next year he's saying that you're crap. And I'm sure that gets into your head at one point. I mean, Corey Anderson, that was in his head, and he said, "F it, I'm going to Bellator." So I could see him, one day going to Bellator, but I'm not going to get into that. With him 4-4, he needs to win his fight. I think Weidman is pretty much out the door. I could see retirement coming very soon. I mean, I just don't think he has the chin like he used to. His last 5 losses were all by KO. And with Hall, he has the knockout power to do that. And I think he is going to do it by the 2nd and 3rd round. Hall by knockout.
So you second round, 3rd round?
I'll go 2nd round.
All right. You're absolutely right. And I'm surprised that, Weidman's still around. And, he how many, 5 losses in total? Like, what? I mean,
2-5.
He should have been let go. But if we look at pretty much like that weight class, especially, I guess it makes sense why they keep him around because there's not much in that middleweight at all. Like there's no.
And he's an attraction too.
Yeah,
I mean, you put him in the card.
Yeah, I agree. It sucks that I think with this win, Hall. I mean, right now he's number 9 right now. I think he should be up higher since Gastelum lost this past weekend. Because Gastelum's right in front of him, number 8. I think he should move up already as number 8. But I'm hoping that this fight, and I'm going with Hall too. Hopefully he wins this fight, and how you guys said earlier that he could be a contender for that middleweight title. Why not? I would not mind seeing him there yet. But I feel that I hate to say this. I think in order for him to get a title shot again, he needs to get his rematch against Costa and win that fight in order for him to get a title shot. I
think it's his time right now. It's his time.
Yeah, but I still feel but I think for me to see him against Adesanya for the middleweight, I think he needs one more. Besides this one coming up, he needs one more.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think I'd rather have him against Costa to get his get his revenge, get that win back from and I think he's able to pull it off, depending how he performs Saturday. So I'm choosing Hall. I would say the third round knockout.
Nice.
So that's for sure. I'm going with Hall in the third round. All right. Let's move on to the next one.
Oh yeah.
Three,
baby.
One of the three main events, man. Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade. I'm gonna say this right now. Jesus, man, this is the hype for this fight. Oh, I'm just so excited. I'm gonna fucking go with my shit right now. No, man, Andrade, man, like she is hungry for this.
She's tough.
She's pissed,
tough.
Just seeing her like talk about it, man. Jesus, it's a tough one. I love Shevchenko because she's a dominant force as well. It's just a tough one for me to pick. I mean, going based on their stats, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna take a fucking risk. I'm really gonna take a risk. I think Valentina's gonna retain by decision.
Oh, that is not a risk.
Yeah, that's not
what?
a risk.
How's that a risk?
That's not a risk.
No, I wanted to pick Andrade, but I just had to go with Valentina.
That's not a risk.
That's the opposite of a risk, homeboy.
But she's hungry though. But I mean, for me, I'm saying. But yeah, I think Valentina by decision. That's how I feel. It's gonna be a badass fight. I'll tell you that.
That's a risk, Chris. He's playing.
It's a risk. She only had 3 losses. It's a risk.
She's like a 1,300 favorite overdog.
No, because I wanted to go by knockout. That's what I was aiming for, But I'm gonna go decision. That's what I was, taking the risk on. But yeah, go ahead, director.
Yeah, I mean, Andrade has puncher's chance, and she does have technique, but she has passion too. Which I think the passion in the power wins her more fights than the technique does. I mean, obviously, you want to compare her obviously to Vanderlei in style, or like a mini cyborg, where she puts her head down and she comes forward, but she can do that for 5 rounds. But also, we saw what happened with her when she lost her title to Weili Zhang. 42-second destruction because she came in hot and technique beat passion. Valentina is nothing you ever want to fight. She is passion with technique, patience, power, skill, the ground game. She's the Terminator. She's uploaded every single program in the Matrix and is the queen of all techniques. I don't see anywhere Valentina is going to lose unless something just gets through in a wild exchange. And that can happen. We've seen that happen. We know Andrade has one-punch KO power. One of the only times I've ever seen a one-punch flatline was poor Karolina Kowalkiewicz getting just cracked and sent to the nether realm by like a right hook from Andrade. You don't see a lot of flatlines in women's MMA. Andrade has that power. Olivia D'Souza has that power. Cyborg, obviously, but she's 150. So with this lighter weight class, I think Valentina is just the thing that the skill that she has that might win her this fight is going to be the smarts, the IQ. She's going to use her range, use her kicks to keep the distance, circle away from the power, and just pick her apart like Rose did in the rematch. Jessica's coming off of 2 losses in her previous division and only had 1 win in this division before the title shot. Yeah. And it was an outstanding win with liver shots all day long. Yeah. The blonde fighter, Caitlin Chookagian, who has not been finished like that ever. And she's a world championship kickboxer as well. I would say she's half the fighter VS is, but very similar style. But no, I'm picking Valentina probably by TKO round 2.
Okay.
Very, very risky that it's not going to be earlier.
That's what I meant. Okay, that's what I meant. Jesus.
So you're risking that the fight's gonna go longer than right? Okay.
I wanted I was gonna go first round TKO, but I'm like, fuck it. Just the way how I see Andrade like very hungry for this, I think it might last a little bit longer. That's what I'm taking.
She just comes in angry. That's her thing, man. She comes in chin down, hands up, and I mean it's worked for her, but then she lost her title because of it too. So
yeah. Alex.
I mean, like we said, Andrade is very, very tough because she comes in aggressive, always throwing power punches. But Shevchenko's a very smart fighter. She's pretty much gonna, flatten the tires. She's just gonna take it little by little. She's gonna do damage every round, little by little, and then she's gonna stop her in the 4th round. I see her in the late rounds and just TKO Shevchenko, and that's a risk. I mean, 4th round, so 4th round stoppage. Yeah, 4th round.
Nice.
All right, Richard.
Yeah, pretty much agree. I see Valentina winning. I feel that Andrade is kind of tailor-made for her. I mean, she's gonna come in like Chris was saying, with her, clenching her mouthpiece with her chin down and throwing to the fences. But that didn't work the way she lost to Zhang, and Shevchenko has that style. She'll pick you apart. I mean, her last 5 wins, she could win by TKO, knockout, submission, head kick. Valentina could do it all, and she's proven it with her last 5 victims. She picks the way she wants to defeat, her opponents. She could do whatever she wants, and I could see her doing that to Andrade. I mean, not saying anything from her last one. Yeah, she beat Caitlyn with her flyweight debut, but pretty much they're creating these new flyweight stars to feed Shevchenko. The same thing they're doing with Nunes. They're just finding anyone they could find, and she is credible because she is a former strawweight champion. You beat Caitlyn, but let's not forget Caitlyn did get destroyed by Shevchenko for the flyweight championship a few years ago, losing in the 3rd round by TKO and elbows.
Yeah, in the cruiserweight position too, no less. So
yeah,
shows how well-rounded she is for sure.
Exactly. So by saying that, I'd say Shevchenko winning 3rd round KO.
Okay, all right.
So flat like KO, not TKO. I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna say KO.
Tapology doesn't care which one of those two. I just wanted to know what you thought.
I think she's gonna kill her.
Nice, yeah. That'd be pretty fucking cool.
All right, let's move on to the other co-main event. This is another exciting one just by watching these 2 ladies that are ready to fight, ready to tear each other apart, man. Just by watching, I'm telling you, by me watching the MB just today, watching them, and then it's like how they're training, how they're getting prepared for the fight. Yeah, Zhang versus Rose Namajunas, and that's for the women's straw title belt. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys seen it today, but it's intense, man. It's very intense.
It's very interesting. I don't want to go into it because it's political, but very interesting shit talking going back and forth.
Yeah, you'll definitely agree. So, talk to me, Richard. Who do you got on this one?
So we have Masvidal and Usman. I mean, we saw the
we're talking about Rose.
Rose and
look at the graphics, sir.
Okay. I mean, like we're talking about Zhang. Sorry.
It's all good, dude.
Pretty much with Zhang, I feel like she's built out of a factory, and she's perfect the way how Drago was built. I mean, this girl is dangerous. It's scary dangerous. And Rose, she was a great champion, and I'm a big fan of Rose, but it's a tough pick. I mean, I want to say Rose. My heart says Rose, but my brain says Zhang. So it's a tough. I'm gonna say Zhang by. Shit, man, that's tough.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna say it's really hard. I'm gonna say Zhang by knockout. I would say, let's go 3rd round.
Oh, awesome!
I think she's gonna go for the KO.
Awesome, Alex.
It's a tough one, but I think as long as she stayed composed, and I feel like her experience is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a key factor. I'm going to go with new.
Oh shit!
Whoa!
I'm going to go with Rose. I think she's gonna like I said, experience is gonna play a huge factor. As long as she stays composed and she plays a smart fight, I think she'll pull it off and a decision.
Okay.
All right.
Just like how I'm gonna be the new champ next event, 2 new champs.
You're not gonna regain your belt back.
That's what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen.
No, you're not gonna regain it. No.
New. So
nah. Director.
Yeah, what's up, man? Rose can do so many things that shock us. She never doesn't surprise us. Her first KO of Ioane and Jacek was the wildest KO of all time. Just the most what just happened KO. And then defending the title against her in a 5-round war on the feet, which people were like, okay, first fight was a lucky left hook. No, it wasn't, because she told her up on the feet too. And then look at the rematch with Andrade. She was obviously winning that first fight until she wasn't. She wouldn't let go of that Kimura, got dumped on her head for that. I think in the rematch with Andrade, she picked up where she left off and was piecing her up on the feet with technique. Trevor Whitman does wonders for her. It's a real challenge going against someone who's not lost in 9 years like Zhang and has the title. She has supreme confidence in her skills. She's very similar to Shevchenko, where she can do whatever she wants whenever she needs to do it, and has that killer instinct to finish you quickly or be patient and pick you apart. I think Zhang can probably get this done quick in the first, like she did with Andrade. I don't want that to happen. I would love to see Rose get that upset. I'm almost guaranteed Rose is an underdog in this fight. If Rose pulls off that JJ rematch or first KO, I'd love it. I would love it. But since I'm forced to pick stuff here, I'm going with Zhang KO round 1, and I don't want it to happen.
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry. I don't, like with Nunes and Megan Anderson. I love them both. I did not want it to be a violent finish for Megan, and thankfully it kind of wasn't. But, my heart is with the facts. I think Rose loses by KO in round 1. And I think she probably retires, honestly, if that's what happens, because she's very her mental state is very she goes through a lot of stuff. She's contemplated retiring before, and she has every right to feel however she feels about her life. I don't want it to happen. I would love to see Rose get that KO. Just if I'm putting $1 down, I'm not doing it.
Oh, this is a tough one, man.
It really is.
It's
man. I hope I'm wrong. Rose, I'm sorry. Pat Barry, please, don't come for me.
Yeah, man. I love Rose, man. She's
one of my favorite fighters of all time.
I gotta give credit's due for her, man. She has done a lot in that division, and man, it's just her performance overall. It's Zhang is another one that upcoming, like she's already a fucking megastar already, and
she's only got 5 fights, 1, 2 in the UFC.
But I'm saying, but it's just
crazy.
It's crazy, right? It's just, man, it's a tough,
within a year, she was champion. Less than a year from her debut, she became champion. That's one of the fastest.
She made a history of what?
About a year. Yeah, exactly, dude. 20 days shy of a year, she became champion. That's one of the fastest championship rises.
Yeah.
For someone who wasn't on like Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah. All right. And she's what? The first Chinese UFC champion?
Asian.
Yeah. Asian,
yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, fuck. This is a tough one, man. Oh.
I don't want this fight to happen. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, man. I feel all of you guys, man. Looks like if I want to choose Zhang. Yeah, my mind goes with I'm like you, Richard. My mind goes with Zhang, and my heart goes with Rose.
Yeah.
It's tough. This is the toughest one ever for me. I'm gonna go with Zhang, and I will have to go second round TKO.
That's fair. Totally fair.
Second round TKO.
I don't think you could make any prediction in this fight, and it would be crazy, especially if it happens. You could say either one of them KO or submission round 1 through 5 or decision, and I wouldn't be like, that's insane.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking. I cannot wait, man. I'm looking forward, and this is exciting. We are definitely going to be jumping off our feet when we're watching it at home. Like, oh shit! Oh my god! Definitely.
I might be able to get some people to come over and watch it. That'd be sweet.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, I'm be like, leave me alone. It's my time.
I'm not waiting. I get real quiet and then I get real loud. I'm no in between for me.
All right. Now let's move on to the main event. This is the most exciting one because, man.
No.
What?
It's not exciting.
It is
I'm
exciting.
Alex hates this fight.
I've
But
never
shit
even
talking is exciting,
I've
bro.
never even heard of these
like,
guys.
oh gosh.
Do these guys like each other? I've never even heard of them.
They don't like each other, man. They do not
I'm
like
not
each other.
so doesn't mean it should be a good fight.
It's gonna be a good fight. What are you
No,
talking
it's not.
about?
It's gonna be the same thing like the first time. Usman's
Oh
gonna
my
wrestle him, and
God.
that's what's gonna happen.
I don't-
Nothing different's gonna happen, Ivan. Nothing different's gonna happen. It's gonna be the
Jesus.
same thing.
All right, well, let me announce.
But
But at least let me announce it to our listeners as well on Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and Podbean as well. Yes, the main event, ladies and gentlemen, for the welterweight championship, Kamaru Usman versus George Masvidal. So I'm gonna let Susanna's gonna keep talking shit. All right, go ahead. You get it. Go ahead.
It's a
You
fight
start
that
it
I'm not
off.
excited for. It's not a fight that I'm excited for. It's the
Explain-
same thing's gonna.
explain.
Whoa. It's a fight that I'm excited for because it's gonna happen the same thing. I wasn't excited when they announced it. I don't think Masvidal should have gotten a rematch. Just because you took a fight in 6 days, that's on you. You took a risk, you took a gamble, and you failed. That doesn't mean you should get a rematch. You should fought Kobe Covington or fought somebody else, and then if you won, then you would have fought Usman, and it would have sold better. You know, would have said, "Oh, Masvidal's changed. He's gone to win, and then he's gonna fight Usman." He hasn't learned anything. He took a loss. He got dominated for 5 rounds, and now he's gonna have a rematch against the same guy that dominated him. It just makes no sense to me. Masvidal should never got in this fight. Same gonna happen. Usman's gonna take him down. It's like Trevor Woodman said. It's not really gonna change. It's nothing. We don't expect anything different. Yeah, Masvidal is gonna probably be in better shape, but that's it. I mean, Usman's just gonna take him down, and it's pretty much it. Masvidal can't defend a takedown for his life. He's never had really good wrestling. I mean, he's trained with great wrestlers, but still can never defend a takedown.
Yeah,
The only reason why Masvidal has been successful is because he's fought strikers and he's been a hell of a striker, and that's the only reason why he's beating guys like Nate Diaz, because he's a little bit quicker and his stand-up is really good. But when he fights grapplers, he doesn't do so well. And Usman's it's gonna happen again, and who knows? Maybe he'll probably finish him this time. I can see that happening too. But yeah, like I said, I'm not excited for this. I see Usman winning again, decision, and that's it.
Decision? I was expecting you to say first round TKO or second round.
But Usman's
Since you're saying it, he's gonna
guy.
finish him. He's gonna finish him.
He might finish him.
Hey, but what happened in the Burns fight? What happened in the Burns fight?
Because Burns freaking made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Burns made a mistake. He tried to go for the knockout. The game plan went out of his head. He got caught off a jab, and that's what happened. I don't think Masvidal is going to do what Burns is going to do, but Usman. And then he's in like, oh, I'm going to do the flying knee. Let's be honest. Since we're talking about Ben Askren, he got lucky with that flying knee.
Yeah, of course he got lucky.
He got lucky.
Yeah,
if that never happened, Ben Askren would have won that fight. You would have just taken him down. It would have been a win. But he got lucky with that flying knee, and he thinks throwing shots like that's gonna. I mean, it could happen, but I don't see it happening. Usman's gonna take him down. Usman's a very smart fighter, and he's gonna take him down, and it's gonna dominate for 5 rounds, and he's gonna still be the champ.
Okay. All right. Richard.
Not gonna surprise you. Alex and I are brothers, so we have the same opinion.
I have never seen you guys agree on anything ever. Bring it. Let's hear it.
So obviously I'm gonna go with Usman. I see him winning by decision or even possibly a TKO in the 3rd or 4th round. I can see that too in the later rounds. I just see him pretty much out wrestling him, and you're gonna see Masvidal trying to go for that knockout. I mean, it'd be cool if he tries to go for a flying knee, but I don't think any of that stuff will work on Usman. I think Usman is too smart, and I think his time. I mean, right now Usman is in the prime of his career. I mean, he has 1 loss in his career, which was his 2nd pro fight. I bet you that guy, he lost to his telling the whole world, hey, I beat Usman about 10 years ago. But Usman has 1 loss. I mean, he's been in a tear since UFC. No one can touch him pretty much. He's beaten Covington, Woodley, Masvidal before this, Maya. I mean, he's beaten the best fighters in the world. So going through this, I see Usman wrestling him. I don't see any. I mean, I'm trying to see maybe the way Alex was saying, maybe he could beat him the way he beat Askren, or he could pull something, out of his sleeve and throw something crazy. But
that's his only chance.
That's the only way, him knocking him out somehow. But Usman right away as he comes in, he's gonna have his hands high, level changing, and trying to go for that takedown. he's gonna time for that takedown. And unless Masvidal is fast enough to time that takedown and try to do some clinch to the knees, knees to the body, and make it a rough fight against the cage and not getting taken down, he has a chance. I mean, of course Masvidal has a chance, but after what we just saw his last fight, I don't see it happening. I see him getting dominated for 5 rounds or possibly getting a TKO in the fourth for a 3rd round.
So you go for
decision? I'll play it safe. Yeah, decision for Usman. Of course, I have to go for the wrestler.
Of course.
Of course, I have to go for him.
Director.
Yeah, I don't think that 6-day excuse. I was actually kind of surprised that Masvidal went that route because he's one of those guys who talks so much shit that he wouldn't put himself on the defense like that. But he did talk himself into this fight, and it was Usman who ultimately made the decision to book the fight himself. This is the first time I've heard of a champion. I'm sure I could think of others, but demand the rematch of a fight for someone who just lost in a title fight versus the champion. Usman was
Liddell
like,
versus Horn.
What's up?
Didn't Liddell call it Horn? I think like when he lost and Horn was
but Horn was on a winning streak at that point.
Was he on a winning streak? Okay.
Yeah. And the loss to Chuck was years prior to that. Or the Horn's beating of Chuck was years before that. But Horn had just gone through like Chael Sonnen or something like that. I have to look it up. That was UFC 50. I love that fight, by the way. Go look that up for the classics. But Usman picked this fight, and so okay, I'm not mad at Masvidal for taking the fight. Usman says, all right, he's gonna complain about the 6-day notice. Give him a 6-week notice. Let me shut him up for real. I like that. I like Masvidal. I like Usman. But I agree with Alex that nothing's changing in styles between the last 2 fights. I think it's going to be very similar style. It's going to be Usman. I think a lot of cage fighting, a lot of holding them up against the cage, dirty boxing, tiring them out, foot stomps, take them down, hold them, wear them out, get rid of that firepower that Masvidal has to rely on early in that fight, or it's gone out the window by the end of the second. So I'm going Usman decision. I would love to see a KO. Usman's a great fighter. He's going to go down as one of the great. He's probably all ready to go in the welterweight division. If Masvidal gets that KO, though, man, that's going to be an amazing product to watch. I'm gonna tune right into Street Jesus TV all day long if he wins that title by KO. I just don't see it happening, so I'm going Usman by decision again.
Yeah, man. This is I know. I get it. It's just like I like the fact of the hype of it, and the promo itself is so hyped up that I enjoy it. I'm very intrigued. It's what got me intriguing. I get your guys' valid points. I understand that. I don't know. Masvidal sometimes gets to me as well. Like, okay, I mean, we've seen it with the Nate Diaz fight. We've seen it. With the band, with the niche. Yeah, of course, I get it. I just hope that I don't think Usman would dare to do toe to toe with Masvidal. I don't think he would dare to do that. I'm with you that he's gonna go ahead and take him down, keep him there.
That's a good point. Who did Usman bring in as his striking coach for
exactly for the
was it Weidman?
Yeah, Troy Weidman.
Weidman. Holy shit!
Yeah,
Usman could win this on the feet.
Yeah.
With the product with the version of Usman we just saw in that Burns fight with that short of a training camp with Weidman, the guy is a magic maker. Weidman he could just hold you like a video game controller and get you
trainer.
Yeah. So this version of Usman, Masvidal might be expecting that same game, and much like Burns, not expect those fucking jabs from hell, dude. Those are probably the most vicious jabs I've ever seen since like GSP versus Koscheck, and that didn't even finish Koscheck. But Usman's
training with guys like Justin Gaethje too. So like,
that's his like his sparring partner. So
where's Masvidal? Where's Masvidal training?
Can I change my pick now that I remember this? I'm going to go Usman TKO round 3. And I don't mean necessarily by strikes. I think strikes in level changes in the ground and pound. But I'm going to go Usman round 3. TKO. You'll see me put that on the marker. I'm not going to backtrack.
Yeah, it looks like I'm going to go with Usman actually knockout round 4.
Knockout? I like that. Danger zone.
Devious.
I'm gonna go with that. Because by just watching the Burns fight, and we all, I think, agreed. I think when we discussed about it, then we all said it was like, okay, it was going to be like more of a wrestling match because, they're both in the background. But no, we ended up seeing a stand-up fighting match between Burns and Usman. And I didn't expect Usman to, have those striking abilities, and that impresses me. And now seeing that fight, I have the feeling he's going to have the balls to stand up to Masvidal toe-to-toe by the fourth round and probably just knocking him out. Because by that time, Masvidal's going to be tired as hell. He's going to obviously bring all his energy on the first 3 rounds. And by that time, he's going to be just out. And that's the great chance for Usman to come in and then just knocking him out. And ending him that way, put some respect to my name. Put some respect, And that's why I see that in the 4th round. Knockout. See it. I see it. As much as I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wanted to go with Masvidal because I think he's gonna pull it off unexpectedly, but I'm gonna play it safe.
No, that's a risk.
Yes, that's a risk. But I'm not gonna take that risk. Not gonna take that risk, bro. Hell no. Not to you. Not to you because I don't want.
Let's do it.
Let's
do it.
No, I'm not gonna lose my champion, man. Not to you.
He's setting traps. He's setting traps for you.
That's right. You can't set up traps.
Live up to the name, man.
No, definitely not. So I'm sticking with Usman, TKO 4th round. That's what I stick with. Now, out of all this, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I just say, I hope Masvidal learns something and, at least learns how to, do some sprawls and, stops his takedowns and pulls them up from, double underhooks and, like Chris was saying, make it a rough fight against the cage and knees and elbows and, foot stomps. He can do that if he can stop some of his takedowns. And one thing that hurts me is that one of the head wrestling coaches at American Top Team is Steve Mocco. Steve Mocco also had an MMA career, but he was a decorated collegiate wrestler. He was an Olympian representing the USA for freestyle. He's a 3-time Pan American champion. He's a 2-time National Division I wrestling champion. He's done it all. And you have that guy, probably one of the best American wrestlers of all time, Steve Mocco, as a heavyweight, as a head wrestling coach in American Top Team, and you're not using them.
That's not going to be enough to, even if you had him, that won't be enough for him to beat Usman.
No, but I'm saying there's a way to stop. You could stop Usman's takedowns. There's a way. It's not impossible to stop it, and I think Masvidal could do it, at least in a way to make it a rough fight and not just get taken down and held down for 5 minutes each round.
Yeah.
Because we saw that in the last fight, where there was a lot of just them standing against the cage and majority of the fight. And if he can do that, Masvidal in his favor could get the win. And with all those exchanges could get the knockout. That's not possible. But hopefully he did learn from this last fight as a blueprint to get the win. And like Chris was saying, look at Usman's coach. He could get the knockout as well. So
and also, was Usman in Ngannou's corner? That's right.
He was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was in his corner.
He was there.
So are we? Ivan, you watched the Embedded before I did. Is there any word of Ngannou being in Usman's corner for this one?
No. No.
Or was that just a one-time deal for the wrestling acumen?
Well, I know he's been in his training camp, but
Right.
I don't know if he will be in his corner.
I don't think he's going to be in his corner.
That would be crazy.
The only thing I saw was just his sparring partner Gaethje. That's it. That's all I'd seen. I didn't see Ngannou there at all. So and there's still more coming. It's not even over yet. They got to release more tomorrow, and I think one more they're going to release. That's what I heard. I don't know. But I don't know.
Look at Trevor Whitman's circle. He has Usman, Rose, Pat Barry, all these guys. Usman, so should be good.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. So now, out of all of these fights, which one is the most exciting one that you are looking forward to?
Oh Jesus Christ!
I'm going with you.
No.
Can't do that to me, brother. You can't do that on this card because
man. Go for it, director.
I'm gonna go with every female fight on the main card. It's only 2 of them, but all 4 of them are recent champions or have been recent champions for good reason. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of bonuses handed out this Saturday. I promise. Dana White's got that checkbook with stacked papers waiting.
Right, that's what I'm looking forward to too. Alex.
Man, I'm gonna go Rose. That fight in Wang, that one's gonna be That's gonna be fine, and that's the fight that I'm most excited for because, like I said, you don't know who's gonna win. It's kind of like it's very close. So it's gonna be a really good fight. I like Rose. She always brings it every fight. So is Wang. So it's gonna be fireworks.
Richard.
I'm going with the main event. I mean, the more I overthink it, the more I think, man, Jorge could get the knockout. That's what I think. I'm like, Jorge could get the knockout. And then I'm thinking, wait a second, what Chris just said, wait, Usman could get the knockout as well. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities with both of these guys. So they learned a lot from this fight, and I think there's going to be a different outcome. Even if Usman still wins, I could see a different way of him winning. So I think it's going to be an exciting fight.
I'm with you on that. I'm gonna go with you too, Richard, because anything could change, anything could be possible. That's what I'm saying. Like, of course, we did see the last fight. He took it 6 days, before, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not discrediting Masvidal because he put some hands on Usman in that fight.
Yeah,
Usman was just, oh shit, okay, I see who you are now. I know you now. I know you. And for him to bitch about, okay, 6 days, okay, I'll give you 6 weeks. That's what, like, just the promotion of this fight, the main event. I as much as you hate it, Alex, but I'm with Richard on this one. I think this is the one that it'll be a shocker if we lose the main event and Masvidal actually wins the title, bro. That will be a shocker. I'm just telling you that right now. And still Tapology
We'll see.
World Champion.
Better hold on to that belt.
I'm holding it on
hold on with both
real.
hands, 'cause I'm coming for it.
You guys are really cute. You really think that this is a 2-man battle when you got me.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Sitting in the wings, licking our chops.
Like, hi.
We're in this to win this. Don't think that you're the only two that are submitting Tapology results.
Let me remind you that Coach is watching this as well. So Coach already. He's gonna put his Tapology. He's gonna come back next week for the recap.
I'll be honest.
I gotta see it.
I'll be honest. I'm not trying to be a dick, but
everyone who says something that makes him a dick.
And Jose, you guys haven't been close enough to even win the title.
I'm Mad Sarah, motherfucker. I'm gonna come out of that Ultimate Fighter season 4 with the right hand.
It wasn't even close. Like, I didn't even know you guys even were participating. Like, that's how close it was. I mean, I speak for Ivan. I mean, last time I checked, it was just only us two that was.
Alex, can I tell you something? Alex,
was the 300.
Your mouth is your own worst enemy. Your mouth has bit you in your own ass by calling out Ivan.
I'm gonna win the title. I'm gonna win the title. I'm
Ivan.
gonna be a 2-time champ. That's already said in
Tell him, Richard.
So you're gonna have the most losses for anyone who's had the title. Is that what you're saying?
But it's better not winning the title.
Bro, I'm telling you this right now. If I retain, if you're not this close to me, bro, I'm gonna be a damn shame on the points if you're not that close to me.
We'll see.
At the end of the day, I don't mind Richard or Chris or Coach be a champ.
Just anybody but
Alex. But tell him, Richard, he's the one.
He called it Ivan. You called him out. Who was just a host. And
you know what? It was just a bad night in the office. I've gone back. I made some adjustments, and I'm gonna come back stronger than ever, and I'm gonna win that title back.
We'll wait and see because you have 3 other people as well that are going for that title. So
who's that? Who's that again? I don't know.
You're just pissing people off.
Let him have it. Let him.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy? Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in here on Circle Debate and Championship on the Line podcast, MMA episode 6. We will be back next week with the coach. Coach was not able to attend today. Also, Brian, the chosen one, Brian Pettis, who's going to be joining us next week too. That's another person who's going to be also going for the Tapology Championship as well. Ryan, the first episode that we had with him. Do you remember Ryan? So he's going to be coming in as well.
I just remember him. He lost. So
he's going to be watching this, and Ryan's going to be watching this, and Ryan's going to call you out, Coach Ryan. Come on, man! I need you guys to come to the show and put Alex on. Can
me and Richard combine our scores just to take you out?
Yeah. That won't even be enough.
Oh my gosh.
But then, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to tune in next week. We'll be back next Wednesday. And we're going to go ahead and give a recap of UFC 261. And also keep an eye on these MMA episodes. We will be doing, as we do regular top 5, we're going to do an MMA top 5. And I'm excited for that. So we're going to discuss when we're going to release that. So stay tuned for that. It will be very, very, very soon. Where we're going to discuss top 5 welterweights, top 5 light heavyweights, either best submissions, best knockouts. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to hear everyone's top 5 for the past, so, you know, the present, no future. This is the present, the past, and the present. But yes, make sure you guys are tuning in for that. So once again, the host of Devious One and the Tapology World Champion, and who's still going to be the reigning, defending, undisputed.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
It's okay, Alex is a Jake Paul Tapology.
Of course, and also my brother El Director, who could be a future champ. He might take this title from me. So I mean, that could be one right there. And of course, my brothers here, keep it in the family. Then of course, the mod is a pain. And of course, that's right. Could be another future champ. That would be Richard Kane Mares. Except for Alex, former champ Mares. He's never gonna get this job. You're never gonna get it back. You're never gonna get it. You're never gonna get it back. You don't have it anymore. You don't have it anymore. It's mine. It's mine. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week.